Portal 2 is over a decade old now, and it's still one of the best games of all time. Before I get into why it's so great, let me give you a lot of backstory. Valve, the creators of fan-favorite games from our childhood like Left 4 Dead and Half-Life, also created the masterpiece Portal 1, which they completely improved upon in Portal 2. To understand why Portal 2 was so good, you need to understand how Portal 1 laid the foundation. The player base was introduced to portals, which allows your main character Chell to teleport around. A never-before-seen storyline where you are alone in a giant science lab doing several unique and difficult puzzles, running away from the main antagonist, GLaDOS, which is a big killer robot. The puzzles in Portal 1 were very basic. You either had to put a cube on a button or put a flying orb inside of a hole that'd run to the elevators to escape. Instead of solving puzzles with just cubes, buttons, and orbs, they introduced tunnels, gels, lasers, and light bridges to create a ton of new and difficult puzzles in Portal 2. Tunnels give you the ability to move yourself and other objects across distances not normally accessible. There are 3 different gels, all with unique attributes. The orange gel gives you speed, the blue gel makes you and other objects jump around, and the gray gel allows you to place portals onto any surface. Lasers were also introduced to not only damage players, but also create some really difficult puzzles. They also added light bridges, which are just bridges that you could walk on top of to get to new areas using your portals to direct them. All these new additions made the game more challenging and much longer. Portal 2 starts out by waking you up and immediately introducing you to your new friend, Wheatley.
Oh, God.
You then fly around the huge Aperture laboratories, which are falling apart, and learn a lot about what happened to Aperture. After this cutscene, you end up inside of your first chamber, and it looks very familiar because it's the same room you spawn into when starting Portal 1. You then do a few simple missions and wake up the new, but just as deadly, GLaDOS.
Oh, it's you.
Throughout the game, we are introduced to a few new characters, and we learn a lot about the new storyline. We learn that Wheatley was only created to make GLaDOS more dumb, which we got from this quote here.
You're designed to be a moron.
I am not a moron!
Yes, you are. You're a moron they built to make me an idiot.
We also learned that Cave Johnson was the founder and the CEO of Aperture Laboratories. He is the main voice that we hear inside of old Aperture. Unfortunately for him, he went crazy and got ill because all the moon rocks he was buying, which we found out from this quote here.
Guess what? Ground up moon rocks are pure poison. I am deathly ill.
We also learned that Carolyn is a human form of GLaDOS, which we got from this quote here.
You know, being Carolyn taught me a valuable lesson. I thought you were my greatest enemy, when all along you were my best friend.
Eventually, the game takes a very unique turn. Wheatley, who originally tried to help us defeat GLaDOS, turns evil by turning GLaDOS into a potato, taking over the facility, and trying to kill us. We eventually fight Wheatley, and if you kill him, you get a really important cutscene of GLaDOS bringing you back to life and lets you leave Aperture.
Oh, thank God, you're all right. Just go. It's been fun. Don't come back.
Another thing that really sets Portal 2 apart from other games is the gameplay is so much fun and replayable. You can easily rack up hundreds of hours alone replaying the game, but they wanted to enhance the experience by adding a co-op mode where you can play with your best friend doing brand new missions. They also added community-made maps and mods, and some of them are absolutely amazing, like Portal Stories Mel, which follows the story of a different Aperture test subject, and Portal Reloaded, which added a third portal and focused on moving through time. With all of these upgrades and changes to gameplay, Portal 2 earned the #1 spot on Steam's top 250 games, having over 50 unique chambers in the solo and cooperative mode. Hundreds of mods and community-made maps earned Portal 2 several awards like IGN's Best PC and Xbox Story, The Guardian's Game of the Year. They also won Destructoid and Eurogamer's Game of the Year as well. They also have a very helpful and active speedrunning community, with over 1,500 players, 5,000 runs, 8 different guides, and 18 resources. I speedrun Portal for a couple of weeks, and I had several different PBs, like my first ever sub 120 with this 119, and then I uploaded my 118, and my last ever Portal 2 speedrun, my 114. There's been so many nice and helpful people that really helped me get into Portal 2 and earn those times. So here's a special thank you to Jayo, Ross, and Panda for all the help they gave me on my Portal 2 journey. With all of the awards, the new and improved puzzles, hours and hours of fun alone and with friends, and a wonderful community behind it, I think it is very safe to say that Portal 2 is one of the best games of all time and deserves a final rating of 95 out of 100. Hey, thank you so much for watching my Portal 2 review today. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to the channel. I'm so close to 500 subs, and it would be really awesome if we hit it from this video. Also, leave a like on the video and comment down below. Down in the description is all of my social medias, and on screen right now you're seeing my other reviews. I'd appreciate it if you would check those out as well. Thank you so much.